Thank you, Minister, for waiting. It matters when a senior minister does that. 3 questions, Minister. Today I spoke to an importing and exporting company in Leitrim who have been absolutely meticulous in their preparation for Brexit from day one. As part of their business, they import and export materials from Europe, and the carriers pass through the UK, where we know delays are up to a week. Now, in order to maintain a reduced level of production, their only solution is to actually import 3 or 4 times the amount of raw materials they need. So my question is, can you use your influence with the banks to ensure extra credit lines on a temporary basis for companies like this? And behind the scenes, and I don't expect you to respond, I'm asking you to use your influence to encourage the UK to upskill and employ sufficient numbers to process border checks. My second question is on public procurement. What measures have you or can you put in place to assist Irish companies who want to tender for work in the UK? We already see barriers being put in place, and I understand that. But I'm thinking more in terms, Minister, of good information and proper signposting for these companies. And also, Minister, where there is a divergence in standards between the UK and ourselves, what protections are in place for Irish companies who want to tender for work in the Republic? This is a huge issue in the border region. And my final question, because I'm leaving you time to answer, is in regard to dairying. You've already answered Deputy Cahill. I listened to what was said. Lakelands, Glanbia were mentioned. But, Minister, as you know, this is a huge issue for co-ops along the border, and Arrivo is one of them, where 20% of their milk comes from Northern Ireland, and that has a massive impact on the northwest and border region. I accept your bona fides that you are working with Commissioner Šefčovič and others to find solutions, but, Minister, we always knew this was going to happen. So what my final question is there any route that you can see to a possible solution? And can you give me an up-to-date situation report on baby milk formula exports to China? Written replies will do if you don't have time. Thanks, Minister.
Yeah.
No, Con.
Thanks, Deputy, and some very good questions there. First of all, in terms of those that your first example in terms of the Leitrim company that effectively wants to bulk import because of the difficulties in terms of individual consignments and looking to get banking facilities for that. Look, I mean, if you want to send me the details on that, I'll try to be helpful if I can. I don't want to overpromise in relation to relationship with banks, but I would be surprised if there wasn't flexibility coming from banks from companies that clearly are viable but are having temporary difficulties in terms of importing linked to new Brexit arrangements. On public procurement, yeah, it's important to say that part of this deal guarantees that EU companies, i.e. Irish companies, should be able to tender for and compete for business in the UK, as is also the case on a reciprocal basis for UK companies competing for business across the EU on the basis of equivalence. In terms of protections around the level playing field, and I think, of course, we need to watch this closely, there are very strong protections in the Northern Ireland Protocol in relation to fair competition, particularly in the food and agri-food sector on the island of Ireland, to protect the all-island economy and to ensure that the de facto extension of the EU single market for goods that applies to Northern Ireland under the protocol actually operates on a level playing field. And then there are broader questions around the EU and its relationship with the UK and constantly assessing and measuring whether or not there is a level playing field for business or not. If there isn't, there are clear mechanisms that can be triggered in the TCA that involves arbitration and of course, follow-on actions if they're necessary. In relation to Arrivo, it's a company I know reasonably well. They're a great company. Yes, they do have about 20% of their milk pool coming from the north. Look, I mean, I've been raising this issue for, I would say, 8 months with the EU side, what I'm trying to do is protect an all-island economy and food producers in Northern Ireland as well as south of the border in the context of benefiting from EU trade deals. The only way I think I can see, unless someone else has a better idea, the only way I can see that this issue gets resolved is if the individual trade deals are amended to incorporate Northern Ireland as well as EU product, because under country of origin rules it's very clear that milk originating and produced in Northern Ireland is Northern Ireland milk, therefore UK milk, and not EU milk, even though it's produced to the same standards as EU under the protocol. And so the way to do this is minor amendments to individual trade deals, which I think will take some time, but is certainly possible, but is a laborious process and not easy to resolve.
Thank you, Minister.